Super Bowl XLVII had it all, from a 34-minute power outage to a punter running around the back of the end zone and taking a safety. But in the end, it was the Ravens 34, the 49ers 31. John Harbaugh defeats Jim Harbaugh. We're going to break it all down in snap judgments, joined by senior editor Eric Edholm. And Eric, let's start early in the game. The Ravens just came out with a lot of firepower. Jacoby Jones, Joe Flacco, and that defense, they just dominated the first half of the game and then opening the second half.
And I think it had as much to do with the 49ers coming out tight. They looked sort of tightly wound and just a little too wired for that environment, and weren't getting things done offensively. And when they were getting brought back by penalties and such. The first play of the game is a good example of that. The Michael James fumble obviously was an early turning point. And like you said, the Ravens had good focus. They had explosiveness. The one throw where Flacco rolled out, looked like he was throwing it away, hits Bolden for 30 yards. Even though they didn't score on that drive, I thought that was an early message that they were going to go downfield and make plays.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago with the Falcons game. The San Francisco defensive backs, that secondary, we know it's a hard-hitting group. We know it's a pretty good group, but they just have not looked like it in the playoffs, and it looks like a unit that Trent Baalke's might have to work on this offseason.
That and the pass rush. I know Ahmad Brooks got in there, but Aldon Smith was not heard from in the game. Justin Smith was kind of neutralized as well. The rest of the defensive line, I didn't think got the push. Ravens offensive line, to me, was the hidden MVP of this game. Great protection. Pretty good run blocking when they had to, at least to get those short yardage situations. So you're right, the secondary of the 49ers, Chris Culliver was picked on all game. Dante Whitner had a game to forget, and that pass rush certainly didn't help matters.
Well, in the second half, though, after the blackout, the 49ers started turning it on a little bit. Colin Kaepernick found some room to run in some broken plays. Frank Gore had a couple big plays. Vernon Davis, Michael Crabtree, they started moving the ball. They put points on the board. Obviously, they came up short in the end, but you saw what they could have happened in the first half. It wasn't more of the Ravens defense kind of breaking down a little bit and the 49ers offense figuring it out.
I thought it was the need to get Gore more involved early in the game. He ended up with 110 yards on the ground, a couple of big scampers, really had good vision, good power in the certain circumstances. So I thought not getting him involved earlier was criminal. And when they started using him in that combination of the threat of Kaepernick, Gore, and then also the downfield passing game, they really hummed. Kaepernick averaged 18.9 yards per completion. That shows you how explosive they are, despite the fact only 4 guys caught passes for the Niners.
Well, I have to ask you, Eric, at the end of the game, 4th and goal from the 5-yard line, Kaepernick going for Crabtree. Ravens bring the all-out blitz. Great call there by Baltimore. Kaepernick doesn't have many options but to throw that play to Crabtree. Jimmy Smith, pretty physical, both of them. Do you throw a flag in that situation?
Yeah, it's either the fade or the slant in that situation. Obviously, we saw the same call made by the same guy, Dean Pease, we saw in the Super Bowl between the Giants and Patriots about 6 years ago. But, there was contact on both sides. I will say that. Maybe there was more so with Jimmy Smith than with Crabtree, but I thought both guys gained an advantage. And so I say no call. I'm okay with it.
And remember earlier when they tried for the 2-point conversion, it looked like they went for the slant when Baltimore brought the blitz. It didn't work out to Randy Moss, which put them in that situation late in the game. Misses Crabtree 3 times in a row near the goal line. The game ends on a drop kick. The last thing I want to ask you about, Eric, the Super Bowl MVP. Joe Flacco gets it. I do think Jacoby Jones deserves a lot of votes.
Fair enough.
Huge game, but Joe Flacco, the postseason was all about him. 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Had a great first half of that Super Bowl. Gets the MVP. When was the last time a guy gets Super Bowl MVP and now he's going to get a big contract? Really just wrapped up pretty nicely for the Ravens quarterback.
Yeah, this soon, not any that I can remember, but Eli Manning eventually got paid. So, this is an Eli type of situation. Joe Flacco may not put up the stats of other quarterbacks, but when it comes to clutch time, he's there to deliver the big goods, I think.
Flacco had the big game, outplays Colin Kaepernick, especially in the first half, and the Ravens and John Harbaugh defeat the 49ers in Super Bowl XLVII. For all the best analysis of the big game, head to our website at ProFootballWeekly.com.